Okay guys, it's Orchid Lover again here in Australia. Today I'm gonna show you my beautiful Cymbidium flowers. Look at this. She is all open up. This one here on the back, I'm gonna show you closer to camera. This one here, this one in my hand here is really opening up just today. She is just open and I was so happy because that's the only one left open that didn't open. Now finally it's open to me and I can get you so closer to get this camera close in this beautiful reason. It's so beautiful this, and look at this, she got a yellow in here. As you can see guys, it's a beautiful Cymbidium. It's flowering this year or this season, and look at this, they only flower only once a year, you know. Look at this, and they have a smell, very light smell. You have to put your nose on that so you can smell the flower. It's very good and big. Look at this guys, I like the pattern on this, and they got a dotted on it and the yellow here, as you can see, and there is a dotted kind of reddish dotted on that, which is really cool, and a very hardy plants. And look at these leaves right here. I'm gonna move my camera so I can see you what the leaf look like. That's it. She's very long, that is why I put her there, so guys you can see better. And also look at this, how long that stalk is. The spike is only one here. She's only a few years old, but I'm so happy that she's flowering now. Very nice. And look at this, and she got another new growth coming out, and here is coming out, and look at how nice, beautiful, thick that spike is, and long too. So you just have to put stick on them so the flower and it won't go fall down. Either you can do flower like that without the stick, or you can put it like that upright. So guys, it's up to you. So I'm using this media just only on the top. They are the beautiful Orchid bark mix, and in the bottom this is one little bit. I just put the moss too. Most of them is a lava rock, so I don't have to change it every year. So it's good. A little bit heavy, but that's kind of skin here. When the skin is turned brown, then that's the time you remove it. The same thing in this. When you see the sheet swelling from the pseudo bulb, then you remove them. So we don't need it anymore, so you don't really get a lot of bugs on them. So you remove it, and then you don't have problem about it. And also as well, when you see the sheet from the pseudo bulb coming, and then also you can see as well there is a buds emerging guys, and then also it bring the plants out of the weather. So you bring that when the swelling of this pseudo bulb, the Cymbidium, you have to bring them outside, so give them nice sunshine if you can, and then yeah, so they can nice and go out for the weather. So make sure also don't give the direct sunlight in the flower too. They can be really bruised and yellow, and then it kill them. If you get bruised, and then often the flower will fall down. So don't ever do that. So just let them be, put them outside, 50% shade, 50% a little bit sunshine. So that's what I get, as long as not it's so bright there. With the shade cloth, it's very fine. And also I put the lava rocks in this media. I put, it's more on lava rocks, like really 80% of lava rocks and 5% of I just put the moist on it, because my area here in the Australia where we are now, our environment, we sometimes in the summertime we have really, like you call it heat wave. It's just only once in a blue moon. So once there's a heat wave, and this one is, if you are really busy looking for anything, look after for something, and you don't have a time to look after them, so that's why I put some moss on it to moisten the inside. So even though the lava rock is really good, but still I'm gonna put some little bit of moist in it. So I use the 5% moss on them, and then on the top I put the bark so the moss don't look really green, as I always said to you guys, explain in any other video. That's it, guys. That's what I do all the time with my plants. And in the springtime the flowers have done, and then okay guys, I hope you learn a lot on this. Sorry about that. To you about kind of knowledge, basic knowledge for this beautiful babies here. Now I'm gonna little bit up. Whoa, it's heavy. And I'm gonna show you really closely the flowers, guys. There you go. And I hope you enjoyed this video. And I'm gonna end this with a very nice close-up flowers to you guys. And if even you can stick your nose in this in the camera, it's fine. It's nice and very nice and smell. Not very overpowering, just very, very light. Okay guys, and put it back. I hope to see you next time again, guys. Keep in touch, and if you haven't subscribed in our video yet or in our channel, please do subscribe and tap that notification bell on the top so it will notify you guys whenever we have new video. Thank you so much for watching once again. Hope you learned something with this, and happy tribbing all your collection, guys. Keep coming back and make sure you comment down below, and if you do the right thing, we will do the same for you too, guys. Sometimes forgive us if we can come back straight away, but don't worry, we notice your comment and we come back to you as soon as we can. Thank you so much. Okay guys, the one that I can show you about the pseudobulb, the pseudobulb of the lovely Cymbidium orchids, than this one here. I'll give you the example of the Cattleya. For instance, the Cattleya pseudobulb is nice and fat and really shows on the top here. As you can see, they are nice and fat pseudobulb when they get really matured. While the Cymbidium orchids here, the Cymbidium orchids, their pseudobulb is just like this, at least just like that size, and they are fat as well. But the Cattleya orchids, they are a bit longer, probably like, I'm not sure, 5 inches, 4 inches, something like that. They're like a halfway compared the Cymbidium orchid pseudobulb. They are like half compared to Cattleya pseudobulb. Alrighty guys, it really makes sense when I try to explain the Cymbidium orchids here. And also in the growing media, especially in the winter, this one here, their media here, you have to give them moist all the time. You know, not very being wet, really so wet, because we're gonna have a problem with our root rot. So just keep them wet. Don't make them really dry, bone dry, because they don't like that. Also, in the winter, this one, it starts the most commonly growing Cymbidium here in Australia is the orchid bud in the winter, and also it's flowering too, starting from May. That's what here in Australia, it starts from May through August, and even in September or so on. And then also they produce the stunning, look at this guys, the stunning, beautiful, long-lasting flowers. So of course you're gonna love it, and so are we. It's just beautiful. But the flower, if you put your nose here so close, you can smell it, nice and very light. It's not very overpowering smell on this, but we really like it. We always stick our noses in here. She is so cute, lovely sweet fragrance. But unlike some other Cattleya, they got very beautiful, some of their flowers, they are very nice and beautiful. This one, they are very light fragrances on them. And also some of them, they also capable of going between 2 or 4 flower spikes. Wow, how amazing is that, guys? This is really lovely. If they are plants, Cymbidium plants, they are very nice and healthy. They can give you 2 or 4 flower spikes, or even more. It depends how matured is it. This one is just only a few years old. This is only a few years old, but we are so happy that she's blooming and had a really good spike. And even I see three of the beautiful here in the bottom. With Fana, they get 3 growing new regrowth, and there's from there, and the two of them, the little small one, which is really cool. It's really, they really, by the way guys, they really love the, when you give them rainwater, they're really loving it. As long as if there is raining season, don't give them water so much, because you really give them, you drown the root rats. So once you give them water for a few minutes, when they get really soaked, remove it from the water. So let them dry before the nightfall, even the spring season or the summer season. Although they're really quick to dry in the summer, so you don't have to worry about that, only in the winter time. Also, we're talking about the sunlight. When you give them the sunlight, they really like them. Especially same with the Phalaenopsis. They like the indirect sunlight, which means you don't have to put it really so close in the very hot summer, very hot sun, because often this will gonna burn on you and maybe turn yellow and die on you. So if you give them really a lot of sunlight, they are like our human skin. It'll get sunburn, and often the flower, this one, we're gonna dry it up really quickly, and which is not, will not stay long with you. And also they got a very nice Eric's pseudobulb, as you can see, so on the top like that. And also you got a nice fleshy leaves, as you can see here guys. I hope you can see that in my hand. It's nice fleshy leaves, see, nice and green and long. It's up to you, either you put something around here to make it like that on the top erect, or you just leave it like that. But often, so this one a little bit space for me here in the house, I'll just give them like this, the ties, or even the round thing. They're a bit heavy for me, so I use the ties to tie the leaves like that. So they kind of they don't just grow everywhere else, or else you just leave it like that without ties or anything around. It's up to you completely what you want to do with it. And also in the growing season like summer, this one they really like the dappled light guys. Dappled light, like meaning 50% shades, 50% sunlight. So they really love that one. And you can put this outdoor too, because they are indoor. In the winter time we put it indoor, and in the summertime we put a whole day in the dappled light, which means 50% shade and 50% sun on it. So they really love this one. And also if you're providing not too direct sunlight, they're really perfect for a few hours, or even of a weak morning sunlight, especially in the morning. In the morning sunshine guys, they're really good to any kind of plants, vegetables, any kind of plants that you have. They always love the morning sunlight. Start like 6 o'clock to 7, even 8 o'clock or 9. They are really the best time for the very light sunshine. Sometimes if you can get very like 10 o'clock, 11, they are very hot already here in Australia anyway. So we just remove it out from the sun. Yeah, that's a point of view guys. It depends where you are. Again, wherever you are, just, it's really the best thing I always said to you guys. Always best to work with your environment, because sometimes it may work here where I am here, we are in Australia. It will work here where we are in Australia, so it may work for us, maybe it may not work for you guys. So the best thing I always advise you, just work wherever you are. If your environment like that, just at least you know the basic things on how to, if you are the beginner here, if you know the basic thing how you care all these any kind of orchids, they are the best. But this one is really very nice growth and really hardy and very thriving plants. And they also love the calcium and magnesium too. They are really the best things to give them. And also I give them some little bit of Epsom salt too, because of their leaves. They're nice and green and healthy. That's the secret to make your leaves green, leaves more nice and leafy and green and looking really nice and good. So if you can see, if your leaves is nice and bright green, which means you got a lot of sunshine on them. But if your leaves is really turned really dark green, which means they are less sunlight. So I guess you can blame it in the winter because it's less sunlight. So when they have a springtime come up, so you try to give them outside to give them a lot of nutrients from the natural Mother Earth or from the sunshine, which is really cool. And also this flower here, we're talking about the flower now, guys. I should get more a little bit so close to you so you can see the beautiful lovely flower here. The flower here, if you cut this right now, if you want like you guys some kind of party and decoration at home, this one, if you cut this right now in the bottom of the where the growth is, the spike, if you cut this and put it in the water, it actually can last you within 3 weeks or so. How amazing is that? They won't rot right away compared to other flowers. They only give you like 1 week. This one, it will last you 3 weeks or even 1 month if you're very lucky. In the winter time, I've noticed it lasts for me for 6 weeks at least, the flower. Really amazing. Really amazing. I didn't give them anything, just distilled water, that's it. And it lasts for me, and it's just really beautiful natural decoration flower. So that's what I did with the Cymbidium. And also there is a Cymbidium different color. And that's the one I'm gonna showing you in the next topic and episode, guys. We just jump this first in the beautiful Cymbidium of mine. Flower is really lasting you a longer time. Even if you cut it, it lasts you 3 weeks or 4 or even 4 weeks. How amazing is that? The reason we collect the Cymbidium, because the flower is so amazing, really beautiful. So always often the question with people, how do you often give them rebloom your orchids, or like this, how you rebloom this? How is your secret to rebloom your Cymbidium again in the following year? Because they only give you spike once a year, but if they are really mature, they can give you really multiple spike, even 10 or 6 of them in one plant. It depends how big they are. See, it's indicate if they give you a lot of spike, which means the flower is really healthy. This one, and then matured as well. This one, because she's only a few years old, so she only gave us 1 spike, which is really happy. We're really happy for that. By the following year and growing, she'll give you a bit more, we'll see. And also how you get rebloom, we come back to our topic. We run out of topic, we just get away with our topic. In the Cymbidium, how to you rebloom them again. Remember, the secret for reblooming all any kind of orchids, guys, is really bright lights in the growing season. Not direct sunlight, but really bright light. They really give it. This one is a double light. They like the double light, 50% shade and 50% sunshine. But mostly they really like the bright light. Especially they really bloom in the cold temperature. When the temperature is going down, like going to winter, and then that's the time you really see the approaching spike on them, which is really cool. If you notice your orchids, especially the Cymbidium or any kind of orchids, once they are in the temperature is going low, and then cooler one, that's the time the spike is approaching, and followed by buds and everything, which is really exciting, guys, especially the Cymbidium one. Because of this, how can you not fall in love with that really beautiful lovely flowers? Here are like really heaps or really a lot, like really a lot flowers in one spike. Look at this. And then also the flower, it just goes after yours finished flower, you can cut this actually when this one is not anymore blooming like this, beautiful blooming, and it's wilted and going yellow or brown. That's the time you have to cut this stem in the bottom. Don't worry, guys, because once you cut this and then the stem turn yellow or brownish, they won't grow back on you again. Unlike the typical Phalaenopsis orchids, most of the time the typical terms, if they have a spike here, don't ever cut them because they rebloom on you again. It may happen, which is always happened to me, especially you give them calcium and magnesium nutrients, it stay on me, and the spike keep on going, the secondary spike on me. After the flower finished, the main spike will turn, still remain green, and then they put back again secondary or whatever third spike again, and then they create more flower. This Cymbidium is different. Once this finished, you just cut it in the bottom like this. Cut it in your scissor. Make sure your scissor is you put alcohol on them or sterilize them before you cut them, so there is no cross contamination. So after this all yellow, you cut them, and that's it. They won't flowering again with you, and then that's time you feed them like crazy in the summertime. In the growing season, you give them a lot of water and feed them a lot, and then you just only slow down before the winter has arrived. So you will see the approaching of the spike too, to become a lovely flower like that. So also you're gonna feed them anything. This one I just feed them in the summertime. Same thing what I feed in my other orchids. It did same thing, especially in the growing season. I feed the same way, and I give them extra, a little bit tiny of Epsom salt, because I notice the leaves will get really nice. Okay, and guys, we're talking about the medium on this. You come back to the media that we're going to use on this. If you're using like this, like what I did, just only on the top though, guys. I just put this one on the top because I don't want the kind of moss to get kind of green on me. With this thing, with you, they turn green the moss. So I don't want the moss to looking like that when I'm doing video. So I put this on the top only. The Orchid bark mix. So this one, actually the Orchid bark mix, it just can last long for 2 years or so. So in the bottom, I put them a lot of lava rocks, so I don't have to change it every year or so. But I think I always inspect the lava rock every 3 years or so, or every 2 years at least, when the lava rock is, you know, when your plant is showing the really slowing down, which means there is something little bit bothering in their main roots in the bottom. So it's time for you to inspect. That's what I always face with my plant. But if they're really growing vigorously, I just leave them alone. Just continue giving them care and love that they need, and also the food as well, and then you'll be fine. So how really, the question that I have in my lovely viewers right here, guys, you always questioning me how often we give them flower, because they always asking, oh, we give them flower, we give them in the shop, and then when it looked very nice in the shop, when we brought it home, and then our orchid didn't really seem exactly like in the shop display. So guys, this is the secret. In the shopping, they sold a lot of plants like Cymbidium orchids, Phalaenopsis, Banda, or whatever, or whenever in the nursery. This one, they give him really like very good bloom, but then of course they don't have a time, they just keep on watering them, so often the roots getting rot. So by the time you come home, let them be. What's happened to me, by the time we come back home, my partner and I don't start away like crazy giving and then looking with the roots, what's happening with the roots. Don't worry about it. Just let them declimatize your environment in your home. Let them be for 1 day or 2 days, and then later on you have to inspection what's happened in the main plants in the bottom, and then you will know what's going on, and then that's the time you decided to repot it. But if you are still in flowering like this, especially the Cymbidium, I don't give the repotting straight away. I just wait until the flower is finished, and then that's the time I give them good inspection, and then I give them new media. But if I can see this one is nice and healthy, I just let them be, and then by the time the flower is finished, then that's the time I'm gonna give them really good inspection. All the things for antibacterial, they spray for the bugs, for the snails, whatever. This hydrogen peroxide is the best for me so far. That's what we used, and it's really worked for me. I hope it's really worked for you too, guys. Okay, and actually we're talking about the flowers right now. The flowers, they can last to you between 8 to 12 weeks, which is considering 3 months, or it may even go 4 or 5 months. It really depends with the hybrid, or it depends with the species kind of Cymbidium that you have, guys. But often, like, they really stop to you like 3 or 4 months, like that. The same thing with the Phalaenopsis. Some Phalaenopsis, they just only stay 3 months, some of them 4 or 5 even. So then again, guys, it depends with the species of orchids that you have in your collection.